My name is Victoria. I graduated from Temasek Polytechnic about 6.5 years ago. And I've been teaching as a preschool teacher at my first school since then, so about 6.5 years now. I'm very inspired whenever I see children make connections to their learning. And this continuously motivates me in this journey as an educator. One of my beliefs as well as a teacher is that I believe that children are active learners and that they are able to construct their own knowledge. With some facilitation, and information should never be downloaded from the teacher down to the student. And I think that also reflects in the way I design my classroom environment and also design my activities in the classroom.
Victoria will always listen to the children. She respects them a lot. This is reflected in her teaching because when the children, they want to express how they feel, they will not throw tantrums, they will not be fighting in the classroom with one another. Instead, they will learn to express themselves by writing out in the letter form to share with their friends or even to the teachers that when they have something to say. That's when that they also learn to receive messages from their friends, and they also learn to understand their friends' feeling from different perspectives as well.
When I joined my first school, I learned about this approach called Mimamoru. So it's this Japanese approach that really means about watch and wait. If the children come across a problem, we will watch and then we will wait for them. Not that we sit back and not do anything, but we really empower them by giving them autonomy to solve their own problems independently. And this also comes with believing that children can construct their own knowledge independently as well. I really feel that my teaching has influenced the children is seeing them be confident learners and really taking initiative of their own learning and constantly thinking out of the box to solve their own problems as well.
In Victoria's classroom, you will see a lot of empowerment from her. She believes and she trusts that the children are capable in learning and also to resolve conflicts if they face any. Because at this age, they are always socializing and they are learning different ways to manage their own emotions. One of the examples I'd like to share is that when the children actually are unhappy with each other or during their group work, they are not happy with what is supposed to be done, they won't actually start to throw tantrum or start to say bad things to one another. Instead, they learn from Victoria that they should self-regulate themselves, they should learn to cool down, and if they are still not really happy about it, they can actually write it out and mail it to the friend so that they can resolve conflicts between each other.
I started the Wonder Wall last year. Instead of answering their questions all at the same time or hearing questions from the children all in one go, I decided to create this wall where they can, if something comes to mind during a particular lesson or a particular activity, they can just write it down on the post-it. And if they can't form their thoughts or ideas into coherent sentences, they can also draw and then write their name and they will paste it on the Wonder Wall. And afterwards, when there's time, then we will go back to the Wonder Wall and we'll review their questions and also discover along together. I started the emojis about 2 years ago when I was taking a nursery class. So I always have an emotion chart in my class where I get the children to put up an emotion that they are feeling for the day. I think it was quite interesting because I noticed that within that class itself, there were also diverse learners. There were children who could speak. There were also children who weren't learning to speak at that time. So instead of putting just one emoji for a happy face, one of the children actually asked me they actually feel happy, but they don't feel that kind of happy. And there was another time where another child said that, I feel sad, but the only emoji that it was given there was a crying face, but she was sad. It's just that she's not crying sad. Even though she didn't really have the language to describe how she was feeling, I think I really related and resonated with that as well. And you put this emoji when they come to school every morning as a practice. And when they do put these emojis up, usually they will also review and see what their other friends have put for the day. And they'll notice that, maybe my friend put an excited face or a party face, or I wonder why my friend is feeling that way. And this also helps to create opportunities for the children to interact as conversation starters as well, to get to know one another and to also understand and build deeper bonds with each other as well. I think with the approach, the Mimamoru approach of watching and waiting, this also reminds me as an educator that I'm not the one that is there to provide them with the answers and the solutions. I think oftentimes when we see children coming into a disagreement, or maybe if during a lesson and they're struggling with trying to find an answer. Sometimes we are quick to just quickly provide them with the answer or tell them what they need to do to get to the answer. I think this really taught me a lot of patience, giving them the autonomy to make and decide like what strategy they want to use to solve a particular problem that they have, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's a disagreement that they have. This idea of creativity is also something that also helps to expand their mind so that they don't think of conventional solutions. I think as an educator, sometimes we think that there's always like one right answer, or maybe there are certain few right answers to a problem that we have. But when I started to just watch and wait and just observe the children when they come across a problem, it's also quite interesting because I get to see how unconventional some of their solutions are. That's how I think one way that I also promote creativity in the classroom is that there's no right or wrong answers. Every answer is interesting and it's also unique because it also reflects our personality and also our thoughts and our ideas.
Other than Victoria empowering the children, allowing them to take ownership of their learning, I also see how she actually develops their character. She will actually always remind the children to think and also care for people around them. It's really hard to nurture young children, which I'm very glad that Victoria actually managed to do this with the children under her care.
Earlier this year, we participated in a Sembcorp Plastic Recycling League. So this is a competition that spans out over the whole year, and it requires the children, parents, and also teachers to bring in plastic that can be recycled. So the children will do plastic hunts at home with their parents as well, and then they will bring this plastic and then we will sort it from the recycling bin to the jumbo bags. Sometimes they would notice that there were some things inside the bins that were obviously not plastic, or there were some even plastic things that were not washed or clean at all. During these situations, actually there was one child that said that, I wonder how the garbage collector would feel because they have to sort all of this every day. More than just encouraging the children to be sustainable by bringing in recyclable materials, this also helps to teach them on empathy, to really understand the different roles that we have in our community. I think one advice that I will give to aspiring educators is to remember why you want to join this field in the first place. Having passion and loving children may not be enough to sustain your passion throughout the many years. And I think many educators can also relate with that. It's more than just loving children, but really wanting to make a difference in our future generation and our new leaders.
Congratulations, Victoria. All of us at My First School BC6, we are very proud and happy for your achievements. Keep up the good work, Victoria. Continue to inspire the children, let them remain curious, and also be kind to one another.
I'm very thankful and also very honoured to be selected to win the Leading Foundation Teaching Award. I also would like to thank Mr. Lim Seong Wan and Ms. Joanne Lim for giving me this opportunity. Apart from that, I also want to thank my centre leaders, Ms. Shirley and Ms. Fei, for always believing in me.